Let's get set up. Hey, what's up, guys? This is T-Bone here. This is a Thursday stream, unlike our regular Tuesday streams. So the idea here is I have the event deck now, and I actually decided to use my 84 coins to craft this deck. And I wanted to play this live, show you guys how this works, some of the decks that I'm sort of the setup I'm using, and there's quite a few different ideas. And I saw some really good damage. Not sure that I can actually replicate any of them, but we're definitely going to try. So we're going to check them out, and then hopefully, if anybody's live, we can check out some questions and try and answer them also. So let's go in, and we're gonna go into the guild bosses. We're gonna check out the Radiant bosses first. And we're going to take a look at some of the setup I have. But first, let me go ahead and get my hit in, because my guildmate is basically tearing it up right now in our Radiant bosses. So what's going to probably happen is I'll probably get some attacks in, and it might just die. But it's okay. I think the goal here is to test out some changes, some different teams, and then see how they fare. So this is the team that I'm using for solo bosses. So solo bosses, this event, really annoying, has the power gem silence. All right, and the only one that's in the deck that can dispel it is Luminox or the event card. This is the one that's the Master Collection card, and it will dispel power gem silence. But because it dispels at level 6, if you're going up against a Radiant solo boss, it has a power gem silence at level 7. And so you'll probably spend most of your time not dispelling power gem silence, so you're just gonna have to try. So this is the setup I have, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to play through each of the setup I have. I'm gonna talk about like how I activate it and the order I activate in, and then we'll sort of see how things go. So we'll start with this one. This uses Divine Sovereigns to get a 500% power boost, and also Haunted Hunters for an additional 120% damage boost. Luminox, you don't really need to have it here, but this is, pretend that there is actually Power Gem Silence, and then Stars on Wolfpack, the ultimate form, and then the Full Moon Lunaris, the ultra rare card. So let's go ahead and play through the first deck, and then we will see how it goes. So we'll start with Team 1, and let's check it out. Joe, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining me all the way from New York City. Hope things are going well over there. All right, so with this particular setup, there's a couple options, right? So with this team, like ultimately, if you want the maximum damage output, you're going to want to wait a few turns. Like you see that little leaf there. You want to make sure that you can get it up to 6. That's the maximum number of stacks of Alchemized, so that you will be able to maximize the number of damage boost out here. And so the way that I originally have set it up is I can activate from left to right. Like how I like to activate is basically in the order, so that I don't forget which way I'm supposed to activate. But I actually think that it might be better to switch it up a little bit, so that I'm going to use the 500% damage boost on the ultimate form, the current event ultimate form, rather than my Haunted Hunters, because the way I have it set up right now, I would activate Divine Sovereigns, and then I would activate Haunted Hunters for the bonus. But I think it's probably better to put it on the event ultimate form. So let's go ahead and take a look, right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually activate Haunted Hunters first, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm not going to do like a full gem crush if I can't help it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to activate Divine Sovereigns, then Haunted Stars on Wolfpack. And now we're going to go ahead and do a Power Gem swap, and let's see how much damage we can deal in one hit here. So this is not my most powerful setup, but I just wanted to show you how much I can do. And so you can see that the ultimate form dealt about 600 trillion on its own, but it's not really like, no other cards really deal a lot of damage. And so what happens here is you're really just using one card, and you have to wait 6 turns really to maximize it, and it just feels like it's really, really slow, and it is, right? And so this is actually not my preferred setup. I just wanted to sort of show like this is one that I started with. I was testing it. We're going to try a different setup, and we're going to see, how it works, how it's different, and some of you may not have Haunted Hunters either, and so it's not really going to work out really for you anyway. And so we're going to show you. I'm going to show you a couple of different ones and see how they work out. I'm also sort of like testing out some ideas. Not sure how whether it's going to work or not, but we'll take a look. All right, so let's go ahead and wait until our damage is done. I actually managed to get my power battle skills in there, so I was able to deal a little over 400 trillion again. So that was nice. Okay, so that was the first team. Then I have another setup where I was kind of thinking, all right, so if I have Divine Sovereigns and, you know, I have a thought that if I can get some power gems in the middle of the Gem Crush row, so I can isolate so that I can have 2 power gems that I can do a swap on, I think I'll increase the total amount of damage I'm going to do. And so one of the things I try to think about is, you know, a card that will always give me power gems. So Brothers in Banditry is an example. Another card that also does the same thing that is a little harder to control is going to be this card right here, Savage Swarm. So Savage Swarm, what it does, it gives me a power gem every turn. At the beginning of the turn, it gives me a power gem. So the idea here is what I want to do is I want to try and get my power gems into the off-color power gem somewhere in the middle. And in this particular case, I think instead of putting in Luminate, instead of putting in the Master Collection card in here, I'm going to add in the Lady of the Lake. So that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to, let's go ahead and bring this back in. So we're going to try Brothers in Banditry first, okay? And in terms of the relic, I'm also trying out like, additional earth relics here, just to try and do an off affinity power gem setup so that I can try and increase the total amount of damage here. And I bring in the Lady of the Lake because what this will allow me to do is this allows me to double up on my 500% damage boost. So if you have the Divine Sovereigns, try to also take advantage of the Lady of the Lake. I think it's going to be good. All right, so here's what we got, right? So we have these Earth Power Gems, and the idea is I want to try and get these Earth Power Gems in the middle, and I wanted to get it right into column 3 or column 5. And that's sort of the challenge right now. So, but the problem here is these are also getting overridden, all right? And so we have one now. There's one you can see in column number 2. I'm going to try and move that into column 3 first. Okay, so here it is. So I'm going to move it to column 3. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it to save. I'm going to try one more time. And then we get hit by chaos. Okay, so let's try this. It is extremely annoying because my cards don't always dispel, and this, and I also have armor to deal with. This is just a mess right now. So like I spend more time trying to get this set up, but I think when I can get it working, it should work well. So let's hope that we can dispel chaos. We can wait for armor to go. Okay, so one more turn and then we can wait for armor to go. Unfortunately, okay, this should work because I think I'm going to be able to upgrade my Earth Power Gem here. Okay, so everything's going to be done. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and activate, in this order so that I can get the 500% damage boost on all of these cards. No, it overrode my power gem there. So that didn't work either. I was trying to see if I can get it working. And so this was a flop. Okay, so this doesn't work. So let's try a different setup. I was just testing it, doesn't really work. Let's see if another option is better. So here's the different setup here that uses still the Divine Sovereigns, Lady of the Lake, and 2 cards, the Ultra Rare card and the Ultimate Form. But I'm also putting in Afterlife Alliance in here. So Afterlife Alliance gives me 70% damage boost for all Light Commander heroes, and so this could be a very good card. And also, if I activate it one turn before, what this does is it gives me additional power gems every time I activate. I just hope that I don't get hit by. I just have to hope that I don't actually get hit by chaos, and so we'll be good. And so the way to play this, I think, what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Afterlife on turn 1. Then I'm going to activate Divine Sovereigns. Okay, I'm going to activate. Let's see. If I activate Divine Sovereigns on turn 1, that's not going to work out for me because I need to wait 3 turns. So I'm just going to activate Afterlife Alliance first. Then I'm going to, on turn 2, activate everything else. So let's see how that works out. Let's see how much damage we can do. Joe, yeah, thanks. I decided to just use my coins, but I'm not sure if it's as powerful as I thought it would be. So I really wanted to test it out just to see like what are the ways I can do this to make sure I can get the maximum amount of damage, right? And I have seen people get some really good, like 2 to 3 quadrillion damage per card. Not sure that I can replicate it. Okay, so we didn't dispel armor, which is unfortunate because I don't think I'm going to be able to deal enough damage even if I activate everything. So let's just see. Like, I want to see if the damage will go through, but I don't think it will. So armor is really nasty. Like, I think I'm still going to end up with just a single... Yeah, so you have to deal over 200 trillion, and you can see there, just 200... I was able to get it over 600, and I'm trying to remember how it is I did it. But I think the way I did it was I would activate, actually... I would actually activate the Divine Sovereigns first, then I will wait, and then I'll activate it again after 3 turns, and then sort of go through. So let's try this one more time now that the boss is gone. Let's see if we can get this to do a little bit better for us. So this one does not use Haunted Hunters, and so there is both Divine Sovereigns in the Revival Vault, as well as the Afterlife Alliance. Oh no, not Afterlife Alliance. It is. We'll take a look. I think it is Afterlife Alliance. I can't remember, but it is in the Revival Vault. At least the Divine Sovereigns is. And so let's take a look. So what I'm doing right here is I'm activating just 1 card first. Then I'm going to wait for armor to get canceled out, and then we're gonna try this again because this will not. I guess the other cards should be able to get through it, but we're gonna have to try and see how it works. Okay. And the other option is I could also just activate. Afterlife Alliance first to get the power gems created. I think either way would work. Let's just see how it works. But I need to wait for armor to be dispelled, or I just needed to go away first. So we're gonna wait 1 more turn. Then I'm going to activate the Afterlife Alliance. So what's going to happen is Afterlife Alliance is going to get... Now I get hit by chaos. So all of the skills in this particular event are just slightly annoying. Okay, like because it doesn't dispel. So what's going to happen is I'm going to lose all my power gems anyway, and so that kind of defeats the whole purpose here. I'm going to try this one more time. Let's go ahead and activate the Afterlife Alliance. So now it gets the boost. And then we're going to go ahead and activate in this order. We're going to activate Divine Sovereigns, then we're going to activate the Ultimate Form, then Lady of the Lake, and then the Ultra Rare card. Although I'm not sure this is going to give me really good damage. Let's just see. Like when I was playing around, I was getting better. But let me know what teams you're using as well. Yeah, so this is really not as good as I thought it was working. I had it much better, but it was not working well. So let's take a look and see if there's another setup that I could think of. All right, so I do have a setup here, and I'm going to try out a setup that a guildmate's using. All right, I'm gonna showcase this. Let's take a look here. So as months, I will be happy that I have upgrades for the future. Yeah, so like this is definitely a deck that I think is going to be good for future purposes. And so let's see. So what I saw my guildmate use is 2 Ladies of the Lake, which I have, and so let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, and so the ordering goes like this. It's Lady of the Lake. I'm trying to remember. Let's take a look here. I think it's this is the order, right? And let's go ahead and take a look at our relics here. So relics wise, this is what I have to work with. I don't really have the ultimate relic of this event, but this works. Like this will break the shields here. So the idea here is you would just activate from left to right, but then if you get hit by armor, then you would activate the second one, then you wait for it to go off, and then you activate in a different sequence again. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So you can see like the health of the boss is already going down really low. But that's not by me though. I really want to see if I can get close to at least 1 quadrillion damage, or total 1 or 2 there. Okay, so this is how we can try. We can try this first. We can just go, activate in this order first, and then we will make sure that we connect the ones that are the commander power gems also. Let's see how much damage we can do in this case here. Okay, so 500 trillion for my divine sovereigns. All right, and total damage. This is not accurate because I attacked twice. So let's try one more time. What is the and keep in mind that the divine sovereigns also does a nuke damage. Like it will so 17,000 is attack. So keep in mind that it will also nuke again the second time. So whatever damage you're able to get it, it will be able to do damage. That's why you want to make sure that you always are boosting divine sovereigns so that you could double the amount of damage that you deal there. So if you can get that to go closer to a trillion, that means quadrillion, that means you can be able to deal at least 2, right? Make, hi from Germany, welcome. Thanks for joining me here. So I'm just playing around, testing out the teams, not really sure yet exactly what the best setup is just yet. Just testing out, just wanting to make sure that I try it and see how things go. Okay, so let's see. I'm still not sure if connecting those like bigger power gems is a good thing or not, and so we're gonna have to see here. So let's try and see how much damage we're able to do the first time. So 532. So that is that is basically the first hit. And now what we're going to do is we're going to try another option here where I guess the idea here is now we have armor, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to wait a couple turns, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate divine sovereigns first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate divine sovereigns, then I'm going to activate it again on its own, and then I'm going to this time boost up 3 cards. Okay, so I'm going to activate divine sovereigns first, then I'm going to hold off, wait for 3 turns until I can activate again, then I'm going to activate itself first, then I'm going to activate the ultra rare card at the ultimate form, then I'm going to activate basically I'm going to activate everything. All right, and so we're going to wait one more turn here, and I don't have a lot of time, unfortunately, only 2 seconds left, so let's make sure that we can actually get this. So we need one more turn before the armor will go away, so let's do that. So let's quickly make sure that we get through this. Okay, so 87 seconds, 0.87 seconds, not a whole lot of time, but we should be able to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit this. Okay, so we're gonna do it like so. This way, basically all but one card is boosted. And because of lag, I didn't actually get to do a power gem swap, so not gonna be able to showcase the actual damage there because I wasn't able to do the power gem swap because of lag. We're gonna have to do this again. Sorry, guys. The thing is, when I charge my phone and play, I oftentimes get into the situation where the reaction time of my phone just slows down significantly, and so right now I'm talking and I'm not really being as fast as I could, and so I need to play a little bit better here, right? So let's try this first. Let's start with activating divine sovereigns first, because I want to see the difference. I want to see the difference in the damage output, and I'm hoping that I could just dispel armor for once. Okay, so at least we dispel armor, so I don't have to wait like a whole 6 turns here. So let's just wait a couple more turns, and then we can activate the way that I was hoping to. It's just that we have to sort of deal with chaos, but it's not so bad because with chaos, it's sort of a problem if you create gems at the end of the turn. But since we're creating our gems at the beginning of the turn, we're not really impacted by it. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and activate it on its own. Then we're going to activate it here, and then we're going to go ahead and activate it this way. So now all of the cards except for my ultra rare card, Melidia Lake on the far left, all of it is boosted. So let's see how much damage now we can do across the board in one hit. All right, so it's a little bit less, right? A total of 400, 800. It's probably around like 800 to 900 a single attack. And so the idea here is I may not be able to get like a single hit on a single card over 1 or 2 quadrillion, but the total hit for every 3 turns comes out to about closer to a trillion. So that's actually okay, right? So let's try one more time. We're going to be coming up on our third turn, and so let's see if we can do this again. And so the idea is now we can also just kind of play it this way, where we don't bother with boosting Divine Sovereigns itself, but we need to make sure that we connect the power gems, the commander gems. If we don't, my observation is that we actually do lose damage. But the problem is if you connect other gems, you also lose damage there. And so it is something I'm still testing out. I just don't feel like I have a great idea on like when do I get the biggest amount of damage. So if those of you have it figured out already, let me know. But personally, I feel like I've been just kind of just in the dark a little bit, just trying to, like I try it and I don't, and sometimes I get really good damage and sometimes I don't. And so that has been a really frustrating thing, I think, for a lot of us as well. And just that you don't really know ever when you are going to get good damage here. And the lag is going to kill me here. It is absolutely killing me. Just the inability to go fast here. Okay, so let's see. 2 more turns. Let's just go for it. Let's see if we can break through the armor, because I won't really have time to wait for 2 more turns anyway. So let's just kind of oh my goodness. No, not enough damage. I went down to just a single attack. Well, let's take a look and see how much we will do with a single. I think it was one attack, right? I don't know if I attacked it twice. I did end up attacking it twice. So total was about 4.8 quadrillion. So like once we get into like, level 300 or so, where the bosses are about like 12, 13 quadrillion or something like that, it is going to take definitely quite a few hits to get there, but it takes some practice, and I think we'll get there. So the idea is, it feels like having this setup works a little bit better, although I want to try it still with, I still kind of want to try it with, Afterlife Alliance still. The idea here is with Afterlife Alliance, I'm giving the other card 70% damage boost as well. And so let's just try this again. I just want to see how this works here. And so we're gonna activate this. Then if I do that, I'm gonna have to do it this way. So let's see this. Yeah, I know, like it's just with this particular deck, it just feels like it's a little slow. Like not slow. It takes a while. Like it doesn't deal enough damage like right away, and so I just feel like, I think the power is there. I definitely think that with this deck, the power is there and the potential is there, but it's not easy to get the best power out of it easily. Not like before where like there's some decks where you just pop it in and then you can just get the raw power really easily. So this is not, in my opinion, really not like one of them. All right, and so let's go ahead and try this now. So we're getting our additional boost, and I want to make sure that, yeah, see, this is the thing, like I feel like the commander gems are always, for some reason, always sort of like left behind there. Okay, so 940 trillion there. So there you can see it, right? So this time I got 940 trillion out of my Divine Sovereigns. So that's close to a quadrillion, and then it nukes for 100% of the damage again. And so this setup actually worked a little bit better for me. So let's try this again and see if we can replicate it. If we can, then that means that it is something that we can try and do. Caesar, so I can only understand a little bit. Por favor, algo para something about like please something about the cards. If somebody can translate that for me, that would be appreciated. I usually have to go through Google Translate, but I think this is Portuguese, right? So if somebody can help me translate that, that would be appreciated, because I want to make sure I understand what the request is, so that I could try and do that. And let's see. So you can do 3 rounds of armor. Sometimes that's why you land on 5 to 6. I see. Yeah, so if you can like dispel it, most of the event, then you are going to be able to deal more damage there. So let's try and see how much we can do. One attack, if we can be fast, and if we can get rid of armor. But I think I can get through it anyway. So let's just go through this, because if I can deal 900 trillion, I think that should be okay, right? If I can deal 900 trillion, that should get through armor okay, and we can just kind of go through that. So I think 105 is, I think, the threshold, but for some reason this time I only dealt 300 trillion, whereas last time I dealt 900. So like, I don't know how that worked out. So now we're gonna wait until this recharges, but it has a 5-turn cooldown. That's the only thing, right? So it's a little bit slower. And what we can do during this time is I can just keep activating and sort of see if I can maybe let's see, right? So I'm gonna do this, and then I'm going to wait for the armor to go. Then I'm going to activate itself. Then I'm going to activate Afterlife Alliance. Okay, so we need one more turn. Oh, you know what? It's actually not going to be an issue. I can actually just, because I want to activate Afterlife Alliance first to get my additional power gems there. We're going to wait for the armor to go, and then I have did I miscount? I miscounted, didn't I? I miscounted. I thought that my Divine Sovereigns is going to be available at this point. So I miscounted. So that sucks. Let's try this again. Okay, so now armor's gone. Let's try this. Dispel is really an issue. It really is. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a power gem swap without doing anything right now, and let's see if that makes a difference. No, that actually made it worse because I missed basically all of the commander power gems there. Okay, so let's try this again. We have a couple more turns. I'm also having an issue with charging my phone right now. Oh my gosh, can you see that? Like, the gems are basically like not moving at this point. Please put something which we don't have. Okay, so if you don't have good cards, what do you do? Okay, so let's try it after this. We will take a look at some of the other options. If you don't have any of these cards, what can you do? So the goal of this was to really try out the deck just to see how it works. Time's up. But yes, I can understand the request here is to also see what you can do if you don't have it. So stay. All right. I'm losing some of my charging capabilities here. So I am that's why you see me fiddling with it. Okay. Cody, your ultra rare card is only upgrading like 2 or 3 power gems. So there was a bug where the ultra rare card, which is Full Moon Lunaris, it wouldn't upgrade a power gem if it's also a commander gem. So if you have a commander gem that is also a power gem, then it will not upgrade. That was the bug. So as of like a couple hours ago, they said that they fixed it, but I'm not sure if that's still the case or not. So if you're still seeing it, then you can definitely put in a request. But what I heard was, hey, we fixed it, so thanks for suggesting it. And so what we can take a look at is, sort of if you don't have the current event deck, what can you do? So we try this, and I guess what you can see if you take a look earlier is that this particular setup that I'm using, I was able to get 900 trillion in a single attack. And so that, if this is a setup that you can go with, you can try that out. And to answer your question, first Fallen, I was activating Divine Sovereign first with the intent of coming back to activate it again so that I can activate on its own, and then I could, basically I can basically try and activate more cards that way, but it's not like it's just a way for you to like preserve the battle skill to activate on another card in the same turn. So you activate Divine Sovereigns first, for example, then you wait 3 turns. then what you do is you activate it and you activate it again, so you give yourself a 500% boost. Then you give it to another card, and you can use Lady of the Lake and then give it to another card. So now you have 3 cards that are boosted instead of just 2. So that's the idea. And so if we wanted to build up a Slayer deck, we could do that as well. So if you don't have the event deck for the commander deck, some of the things that you could try is, if we go with Slayer. So in this particular case, what you want to do is you want to use Supreme Elohim, which is the noble version of this, right? So you have the noble card. And so this is the noble killer. So you want to use Supreme Elohim. And a really good card that works with it is going to be the Silent Knights. Okay, so Silent Knights works really well with it. And if you're going to be using a Supreme Elohim, what you'll probably want to do is you'll want to put in Raquel in there. So Raquel is going to be the card that also creates more power gems. And now what you want to do is you want to look for cards that can give you like Slayer boost if possible, right? You can also, look for a way to boost your Immortal Killer because you're using Silent Knights. Okay, and so in this case, what you see is that this is giving a Light Slayer, 20% boost. It's kind of like, okay, but let's see. So if we go with this, I can do something. I'm just kind of testing up, but I think that this is going to be something that you can try out. I'm just testing it just to see, not sure that this is actually going to work at all, because I don't have anything that I don't think that will dispel dodge. Dodge is not dodge. Chaos is the one that I need to. Yeah, so I have nothing that's going to dispel chaos here. So the problem is we're going to go up against the boss, and I'm going to. Well, I think that's okay actually. So let's just not worry about it for now. I'm not going to worry about chaos because I can dispel it. So let's go ahead and take a look at light. See, like, I don't know if I want to do all Slayer. Like, if I don't have any commanders in there, then you're really losing a lot of power. And so if you don't have the ultimate form, you can use something else. But I suppose, let's just see what happens if we use full Slayer. And let's just not worry about it. Let's just use full Slayer. And so if we're going to use Silent Knights, maybe we can go with Father Christmas. Let's see if it's Father Christmas that we want. So Father Christmas gives us 8 life power gem force. Let's go with the Rudolph. Okay, let's go with Rudolph Slet lead. And then we're going to put in our Light Slayer relics here. So it's going to be this one. I know that this is not necessarily like, the deck that has like no ultimate forms or anything, but we'll take a look and see the Slayer option and see how it goes. We are going to be able to dispel chaos, but we're not going to be able to deal with armor. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm also going to use a dark. I'm going to change the relic also. So I need to swap it out for, first I need to do an Immortal Killer card. So it's going to be like this. This one. And then I need a Noble Killer that is dark. So let's do Noble Killer that is also dark. And so what this allows me to do is this allows me to generate enough power gems in the beginning to power up my high performance unit area. And then we can try and see if we can power up the Silent Knights. I don't know if that is actually even going to work well, but let's just try it, right? So this is basically with, Supreme Elohim and Silent Knights with high performance unit area to try and give it a little bit of a boost. We'll see. Mr. Hoglands, welcome to the stream here. We're just playing around with some deck ideas to see if we can get anything going here. Let's take a look. Okay. And so we're definitely going to be hit with armor and chaos, unfortunately. But what I can do here is I can simply go ahead and activate this, and then I'll have to wait for armor to be dispelled, because I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do any damage at all. But you can see, right, I can activate these 2 cards every single turn. So that is at least nice, right? Every turn I can activate this, and that's the nice thing about Silent Knight and also Rudolph is that you can activate them every turn, and when you activate them, you're going to get a lot of power gems because of Supreme Elohim and also because of Raquel. So you can see like basically when you activate these two, you're going to get like a full board of power gems almost every turn. Okay, and we're gonna wait one more turn, or maybe with just one more turn. We're gonna wait to get hit, and I'm going to dispel chaos. All right, so I'm gonna do this. Gonna activate here, then we're going to dispel, then I'm also going to activate everything and see how much damage we can do at this point. Okay, and so let's just go ahead and activate. I don't have any, unfortunately, any dark power gems. I would have liked to have some dark power gems there just so that I can see, some power gems not getting like crushed together. So let's see how much damage we can do here. This is without any armor. This is using Supreme Elohim and using unit area. So we've dealt about 100 trillion total, right? 50 for Silent Knight and 50 for Rudolph. And the reason for that is because I don't have any commander in here. Like literally, if I switched out Rudolph to another another commander card, that actually would even be better. So this is why if you use full Slayer, you're not going to get as good of a damage there. So you're gonna have to use something. Okay, and so use Haunted Hunters. I think Haunted Hunters is going to boost all Noble actually. And so the idea here is if you don't have Haunted Hunters, if you don't have the event deck, that's why you'll be using Supreme Elohim as as your killer skill. So you wouldn't want to put in Haunted Hunters in here. I mean, you could, right? Because Haunted Hunters will boost it as well. So if you don't have the event deck, but you have Haunted Hunters and you have Supreme Elohim, then you could probably put those two together. In this case, what you do is you put it, you do it like this, right? And so this is now giving you a boost to all of your noble heroes. And then in this case, you're not going to want to put in high performance unit area. So let's say if we had just these two decks, what can we do with these two? So Haunted Hunters combined with Supreme Elohim, it's going to look like this. Like of those two cards, I think what you want is you want to put in, where did it go? You want to put in the Petitioner, okay, and you'll want one more commander in here, I think. So let's take a look. So Light Commander, do we have any more Noble Light Commander? So that's the event deck, so we don't want that. And I guess what we can do is we can just kind of pretend that we can just go with this, right? These are just two team setup, and we're going to change our relic also. And so we're going to have to change this to, we can use Light Slayer here, because what I can do is I can just use these relics. I don't need the dark relics anymore. So let's see how much this does. So with this one, it's, again, you're going to have to, the problem is we are not going to be able to deal with armor. We don't have any dispel. So let's at least deal with armor. See if we can at least dispel armor, because this is going to be an issue here. And so if we dispel armor, we need Light Commander that dispels armor. And the cards we have, well, we have Paragons of Passion, we have these cards, we have Soldier of Love, Janus, we have Aileen, right? So Aileen is kind of like, it has a chance, right? So Aileen Ascended will, it has a chance to remove Poison and Blind and Armor and Might from all enemies, but it's not a great card. Yeah, armor is really difficult. That's the thing, right? So because what's gonna happen is it's going to, like, we need to be able to dispel it, or otherwise there's no chance. Okay, so we have to be able to dispel it, and there are all of these other cards like Sugar Plum Fairy. Man, you can see here, there's not a lot of options. Let's just go ahead and choose one. Let's just see what happens. Okay, because the problem here is if you can't dispel armor, you basically won't be able to deal any damage. I don't think even with these boosts, I'm not sure that you're going to be able to deal as much damage here. So the easy way to test it out is simply to try it without dispelling and see how much damage we can do. All right, so we're gonna keep going. We're gonna have to deal with a lot of we're gonna have to deal with chaos and also armor. So during this time, I'm going to, yeah, here's the problem. Like I'm not able to. The problem with this deck is you have to also connect your gems like every single turn. If you can't connect your gems, then you lose the stacks of alchemized, and then you basically are losing all of your damage potential. And so let's see how much we can do. So this is up to 3, 4. So we need to do 2 more turns. And because of chaos, it doesn't really matter how I set up my deck anyway, or my board, because I'm just going to lose it. All right, so we've hit it 6 times now. Armor should go away at this point unless it casts again. Okay, it doesn't cast again, so that's good. So we at least know we don't have to worry about that. And so all we're going to do is we're just going to activate everything. Okay, so we're going to get full board power gems whenever we activate that because of Supreme Elham and also because of Raquel. And so let's see how much we can do here, right? So this is basically a combination of the combination of the two sort of noble decks, and altogether that was just about closer to 200 trillion with this. So it doesn't work very well here at all, right? And I mean, like, I also have a Sugar Plum Fairy here, so it's not really the greatest card. I thought I needed to bring a card to dispel armor, but turns out I don't need to. So I guess what I can do is I could just switch this out for the Noble card. But it's not very good, right? Like, I needed to hit it 6 times, and for all of that effort, I only got about 200 trillion. That doesn't seem very good at all. And this is already with, like 2 decks that uses ultimate forms, and this is already better than what a lot of people have. And so what are some of the other options? The problem here is with Noble, you don't really have a lot of great booster cards. I think rather than use, like, if you have Haunted Hunters, rather than using Supreme Elham, the better option really honestly would be to go with Afterlife Alliance, right? So Afterlife Alliance, you'll find out it is actually a lot better option for you, and so that's going to be Killers. Like, I kind of showed it here, but like, this is how I would do it. And then in this case, you wouldn't want Haunted Hunters to be the leader. You'll want, I think Afterlife Alliance will give it to all commander. Yeah, so you want to make sure that you can boost all cards here, and so at least this is going to be a little bit better. But the problem now is my relic is going to be an issue. So now we're going to have to switch it back to Noble Killer and make sure that we go back to this. And we'll go to the Light Commander and do that. Okay, so let's see. I think, so Caesar, oh, you're asking what cards? Yeah, what cards you have? Is that what you're saying, Oliver? I'm trying to understand a little bit. Okay, so let's try this out, right? So the difference here is now I'm using Afterlife Alliance instead, and this is giving me the damage boost. Like, in commander events, really you're going to get more benefits if you can do damage boost rather than just attack boost. Attack boost turns out, as it turns out, it doesn't give you as much damage as you think it would, whereas damage boost has a lot more impact right away. Okay, and so we can do this. I think we're going to go ahead and use these 2. And then let's see. In this particular case, activation order isn't tremendously important, except for, you want to be able to activate your Afterlife Alliance 1 turn before you want to activate everything, but because of chaos, it also can become a little bit of a problem. So let's see how this works out. So again, we're going to try and do our 6 attacks, and the nice thing here is Bjorn does dispel chaos, so I didn't realize that. So you can also use this. At least now we have something to deal with chaos, but it's not a guarantee, right? So we're gonna have to wait our 6 turns, or at least until Armors is done. And so what we could do is we could wait until 1 turn before Armor goes. And because I also want to see whether I get hit by chaos again. If I don't get hit by chaos, then this is going to work well. So we need to wait one more turn still. And then that's going to sort of be the answer. Am I going to get hit with chaos or not? If not, then we're going to be golden here. So let's see. Let's hope we dispel. We don't. So we're going to have to wait one more turn after this and see if hopefully we can dispel it. Okay, if I can dispel it, then that's going to be good, because otherwise this is not going to work well. Let's hope we dispel. Okay, so good. We dispelled it. Don't need to deal with armor right now, and then let's go ahead and activate everything. So we have the maximum amount of stack of unfortunately I still get hit by armor as well. So let's just see if we can break through with these 2 cards. Okay, let's just see if with the boost that we're getting, like all of these boosts, 140 plus another like 220. No, not enough to break through armor. So we're gonna have to do it differently. We're gonna have to just not worry about priming the Afterlife Alliance. What we're gonna do is as soon as we can get the armor, like as soon as we can wait for the armor to go away, then we can go ahead and activate everything. Okay, and so it's nasty. Armor is really nasty if you don't have the event deck. If you don't have the card that can dispel it, it is extremely difficult to deal with. And so is Gem Silence for the solo bosses. And so just like a lot of things about Commander events is just dealing with all of these sort of nuance. And I think a lot of people just kind of find it very tiring this way. All right. So we've got our armor done now, and of course we get hit by chaos, but that's okay. So let's just go ahead and now see what is our damage potential with this sub. Okay. And so, what is going on? Only 24. That wasn't even 100 trillions total. And so with this setup, it doesn't work that well either. It's just, I think it's a combination of just not having enough good power gems, because these are all power gem 4s, I think, right? So let's take a look at what the problem is. So Haunted Hunters gives you power gem 4s. That's going to be the big problem. And Afterlife Alliance, it gives you power gem 5s when you attack. And so because of chaos, we're not getting those power gems. We're not getting those power gems saved. So they're not saved. They don't get persisted. And so we're really just dealing with a bunch of power gem 4s that maybe upgrade to like power gem 6s. And so that's why our damage is so low. And so because of chaos, Afterlife Alliance doesn't work well here, especially if it doesn't get dispelled. And because of armor, we can't get our damage through because it doesn't deal quite enough per card. And so this combination really is quite deadly. Like if you don't have the event deck, even if you have the event deck, it doesn't work very well. So like, what are the other options? Like I don't have a lot of other cards, to be honest with you. Like if you take a look at what I have. So I got the current event deck. I have Haunted Hunters and Afterlife Alliance. I've already used all 3 of these. You can see that. All of the other older ones, like Light, Hope, and Justice, for example, like these all create power gem 3s. They're not going to do anything for a Radiant boss anymore. So like this is the point where I say, if you don't have the event deck, if you don't have anything, then just build something that can help you take down gold or ruby bosses, so that you don't have to worry about these bigger bosses, because the trophies are all in one. You're going to get the same trophies. But man, this is tiring. Like this is the reason why, like, even when I get the event deck, I don't play a lot. It is super tiring. Let's try the deck that I built earlier again, just to see, right? Like, so that was that deck. And this is the deck that I tried that I thought, okay, at least gave me good damage output. Let's try this one more time, see if we can replicate it and how easy we can reproduce this. But man, this is I don't know about you. Let me know. But I'm already tired. Like just playing through this a little bit, and I know that there are people that have gone really, really good damage. I haven't been able to do that yet. I haven't been able to break through the 1 quadrillion, but I've seen people that have broken through 2 or 3 even. And so kudos to them. Wrong. Came in with a wrong deck. Sorry, guys. Kudos to them for doing that. I think that it is, definitely possible. But with my current sort of setup right now, I haven't been able to figure it out, at least live. So, Cora S, you got Haunted Hunters. Yeah, so Haunted Hunters can be useful, but I think that ultimately, like, because of the issues I just mentioned, it is going to be kind of a problematic. Okay, so let's see. Can we dispel everything? All right, we dispel chaos as well, dispel armor, so that's good. I can just go ahead and activate this one time. And, ooh, nice. I have a power gem there. I should have just activated everything because I think it's going to overwrite the power gem. It is going to override a power gem. What I should have done is I should have simply activated everything when I got the power gems there. The power gem on column 3, I should have just activated everything and then do the power gem swap on columns 1 and 2. I think I would have gone way more damage out of that doing it that way. So that was my mistake. Like, I should have paid more attention. If you go back and watch a video, you'll see what I'm talking about. I had a power gem 1, a dark power gem 1 that was just sitting in the middle of column 3, and that was the perfect situation, because then what could have happened is I could have activated everything, and I would have had gem crushes all the way through except for column 3, and then I would have been able to do a power gem swap, which is those 2 cards. Experience tells us that that is when we get the most amount of damage. When we can do that, when we can do like that stagger power gem swap. So I didn't do that. That was my mistake. I missed out on that, right? And so let's try this again. So I think earlier that was about 400, 500. I don't know how I was able to get 900 trillion. Now it's down to 264. And I think, just like my amount of like power gem I leave on the board, I think also matters here. But yeah, that was just, couldn't replicate it, which is unfortunate. And now we have to deal with armor, so we're gonna have to go quick. Can we go through armor in 1.76 seconds? Probably not. So I'm just gonna try and push through if I can. Okay, and I do need to try and wait for. If Afterlife Alliance doesn't come back next turn, then I'm probably not gonna be able to deal as much damage there, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to go through with it because I don't have enough time. So let's see now if we can do a little bit better. $152, $154, $155. All the gem drop, $362. Nah. We end up dealing 1 damage. Okay, so what's my verdict here? I mean, like, playing through here, I'm probably just playing it wrong, and I fully expect that I'm going to get comments later like, oh, you should have done this and this, and you would have been able to get, like, 8 quadrillion damage in a single hit. But the reality is, like, I'm trying this and I'm playing a few times, and yes, I could get a couple of damage here and there, but the dispel rate is absolutely atrocious, and the damage is just not there. It's just not like there for me. I don't know why, right? And so Conwilling Deep, you're using Divine Sovereigns, Haunted Hunters, right? Haunted Hunters, Divine Sovereign, and you using the only difference is you using Afterlife Alliance in this particular setup here, right? So I'll give that a shot too. Like, I feel like I've tried everything at this point. I'll give this option one last try. Okay, I'll give this one last try, and this one is, how do I want to get this set up? I want to do it this way. Yes, I want to do it this way. So let's see, right? So in this particular case, I need to do the activate, then activate again, so that I can activate against Divine Sovereigns. I need to do that first. So let's try this. This is the mechanic where I only have a single card. I don't have Lady on the lake, so I'm going to have to do this first. Wait, come back in 3 turns, and then activate itself. Let's see if that works out. So I need to make sure I don't activate Afterlife Alliance. And let's see. So I need to wait 3 turns, 6 turns total, and so I'm just gonna wait a couple of turns, and I need to do this anyway because of armor, and so we'll have to do 1 more turn. Then I'm going to activate Divine Sovereigns. 3, 2, 1. No, 1 more turn. It's just kind of slow. That's all. Like, doing this way is really slow. You use all skill and you leave divine. You use all skills and you leave Divine Sovereign last. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, so that way you can activate. You can activate it next turn. Yeah, that makes sense. So in this case, I'm just kind of basically, I'm not getting any damage here. I'm just basically prepping it for the next turn. But what Calm Willing Deep is saying is like, use everything, but then leave Divine Sovereign last. That allows you to activate it next turn. So that's actually a better way to play that. All right, so let's see if we can get this going now. But now that I'm able to get this back, what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm activating. Did I miscount? I totally miscounted, didn't I? It's 3 turns cooldown, so I should have done it 1 turn earlier. But I don't have chaos, I don't have armor, so now we're going to power itself. Then I guess I'll boost Haunted Hunters. Let's see what Haunted Hunters does. Okay, so this looks like a pretty good board here. So let's take a look at the Haunted Hunters now, and also Divine Sovereigns, see what kind of damage we get here. So 870 for Haunted Hunters and 614 for Divine Sovereign. So this is the best one I think so far that we gotten. Okay, so this damage was a lot better, right? And so Calm Willing Deep, like you wait for Armored Dead Spell and use Divine, the Haunted. Yeah, so basically that was the similar order to how I did it. Okay, so now use all the spells. So the way you kind of do it, I kind of totally messed that up. But you would use all the spells first, then you wait for this to go, and then you just wait until it comes back or wait until armor's done. Then you can activate in the order that Calm Willing Deep just explained. So what I'll do is I'm going to exit here. I'm going to try this 1 more time. Costas, welcome from Greece. Thank you for joining us here. Okay, so hopefully the boss is going to stay alive. Let's test out this particular setup with this particular order that we just talked about. So you activate everything and you leave Divine Sovereign last. Then afterwards, you activate Divine Sovereign. Then you activate Haunted Hunters. Okay, and in this particular case, what we're doing is we're actually activating Afterlife Alliance last in the second in the second attempt. So we may actually be able to kill the boss here or come close to it. Okay, and then so now what we're gonna do is wait for it to I guess we'll have to wait for armor because we also need to wait for 5 turns for Afterlife Alliance to get that additional 70% damage boost. The boss might die at this point, which is fine. We'll just come back and try again afterwards. It is very slow. You attack after 6 turns. It is just like atrociously slow, right? And like now that I got this, I still can't activate it because I'm waiting for Afterlife Alliance. It's just like a little bit of a snooze fest, right? Like you basically have to play through the full 20-second fight, and you may not be able to take out the boss right away. And we have 2 trillion left. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take it out. So we're just going to do this, and this is what it looks like without the Afterlife Alliance 70% boost. This is still with 500% boost from Divine Sovereigns, though. So let's take a look just to see how much we can deal here, right? So Without the 70%, now we're down to 374, 323. So that's about like 700 trillion with that single attack. So it works, it's just super slow. You saw me take like 8 attempts to try that out. We're going to try this one more time because like that wasn't enough health really to test it. So we're going to do this one last time as my last attempt. This is going to be my last attack for the night. Sorry I don't have like a better option for you for like the Slayer and for like the other non-event teams, because I don't really have good options here, unfortunately. And you just saw, like, I used Supreme Elohim, I used Silent Knights, I used everything, and it just wasn't quite as good. It just didn't deal much damage at all. Okay, so we're going to activate everything, and then we're going to leave the this last one. We're not going to get a lot of boost because none of it is applicable yet. So this is not going to give you a ton of damage. It's probably about like 200-ish, right? Now we're going to have to wait for Afterlife Alliance to come back online. And if we get hit by armor, we have to wait for armor to go away. And then we're going to activate in the order that we just talked about. Okay, so we're just going to quickly go through if I can. And then activation order is going to go Divine Sovereigns, Haunted Hunters, then the 2 event cards, followed by Afterlife Alliance to get that 70% boost, because it is going to be significant when you have multiple damage boosts activated. It's multiplicative, so it adds up quite a bit. So you want to try and get every amount of damage boost that you can get possible. So you definitely want to take advantage of that if you can. So that's why I'm waiting for the full 5 turns before I can activate Afterlife Alliance again. Okay, that's the reason why. Okay, so let's see. There you go. So everything is good. We're going to activate Divine Sovereigns. Then we're going to activate Haunted Hunters. Then we're going to activate these 2 cards. And then we're going to activate this for the 70% boost. And what do I have here? I'll leave those 2. I don't want to connect those. I feel like if I connect them, I'm going to lose out on possible damage. Now let's take a look at Divine Sovereigns and also Haunted Hunters. 721 and 560. So it's not quite as high as what I was able to do earlier, but that is how you do it. And then you just have to rinse and repeat for another 6 turns after that. So JZ wins, you're using Divine Sovereigns and Lady, so that also works out. Like, you can use that too. Like, if you like, I think the reason you use the Afterlife Alliance is for the additional Power Gen 5s that you can generate every single turn, so that helps out. I'm not sure if Lady, like, I'm thinking that probably putting in Lady would work also. So like that's the other option, right? And I have that set up here, right? So like the setup I actually used was this right here. So this was my setup, although in this particular case I felt like I didn't do quite as well because I didn't have because in this case I didn't have Divine Sovereigns, Haunted Hunters. Probably should have brought out Haunted Hunters in here instead of Afterlife Alliance. I think that would have been better because I get the 120% damage boost, but I'm not sure. And then Lady of the Lake, let me see, does it do any passive gem spawn? It does create 6 power gem spawns at the beginning, so it probably works out better. Anyways, it is very slow event. Very, very slow deck. Very, very slow. No, Magic Man, it's not just you. I've been sitting here for the last, like, I don't know, close to an hour. I've tried everything I can, and it just feels like this is, it's a super grind. And I think there is part of it that's enjoyable for trying to find the best damage. But man, I feel like this is just a little bit too tiring in a commander event, although I still feel like this is going to be an amazing card for future Light Slayer events. So I'm just waiting for the next season when it's Light Slayer. Gonna try this out, gonna put this in, and then we will see how it works out. Come William Deep, your Haunted Hunters and your Divine Sovereigns hit for about 1 quadrillion each, and then with a nuke after that. So that's good. So I was able to get close to that, not quite as good as that, but that is basically the best I was able to do this particular case. Anyways, that's going to be it for me. I need to go take a little break now. Probably going to break for the night and come back and try again. So hopefully this has helped you, and sorry I couldn't show a better setup here, but you know, it is what it is. This is the deck. Should you get it? I still think it would be good for Slayer event, but don't expect it to be the savior for this particular event because man, it is slow. But if you have 2 or more ultra rare cards, you might feel differently because I think you can do better. But I'll see. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for your feedback, and thanks for sticking with me here. All right, take care, guys. Have a good evening, and I'll see you next time.